live. Hello, everybody. Oh my gosh, welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. Hey, all you cool kids. I am so thrilled to be here because we're back. We're recording live again, all of us in different places in the world. Recording this episode just for you. So I'm nervous. I'm excited. We've got some big stuff happening. Some things dropped last episode, and we're about to walk into a really fun situation. So, hey, Maidens, how y'all doing? You ready? You ready for tonight?
I'm so ready to fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's been far too long.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had two pretty roleplay heavy episodes, so it's about time I slap y'all with some nasty monsters and rolls. So I promise I will do my best to make this really unpleasant in a fun way this evening.
That's all right. Tony needs to blow off some steam,
Yeah.
A little pent up at the moment.
Yeah, seriously, after last episode. Oh boy. But hey, everybody, welcome. We are the Venture Maidens. In case you are new here, we are a D&D 5th edition actual play stream that converts to a podcast that publishes every other Sunday. Also, before we dive in, I do need to mention this is a very adult stream. So you can expect pretty much every episode to see scenes of graphic, fantasy violence. We have a general body horror tag that we just keep in place for this. Also tonight specifically, we have some content warnings, including slime, potentially mouth noises, and just we're gonna be in a sewer system, kids. So sewage, that sort of stuff. So it might get a little gross. So in general, just gross stuff for tonight's content warnings. If that is something that is triggering or you don't feel you can handle tonight, this may not be the episode for you to watch. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm ready. I'm ready to dive in. So, hey, everybody. My name is Celeste Konowich, and tonight I will be your dungeon master.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I'm going to be playing Luviri Sath, your drow rogue.
Hey, I'm Nassim, and I'm playing your half-orc fighter, Fitonia Silvertail.
And I'm Sage, and tonight I will be Aoife, your sometimes surprisingly bashful bard.
Oh, yes. We learned so much about ourselves and each other last episode because we've been in Chauciana for the last 2 episodes, getting to know a little bit about loose families, seeing the sights.
Living the city life.
Yeah, city life. We've been in the mortal realm now for the first time since the very beginning of this campaign. So, we're cool. We're safe. No fairies here, right? No worries. But speaking of that, let's go ahead and travel all the way back in time to when we recorded that last episode, and let's do a recap of what happened last time.
I believe it started right after we had taken out that bell from that fake creature. That was
So that was the beginning of episode 12. So episode 13 started, basically the end of episode 12 was we had the flashback with Lou, and we saw, learned about Jada and that last moment they were together. And then this episode started basically right at when you were all ready to go out, to go out on the town.
We had just finished decorating our hats, eating tons and tons of carbs when Frida had told us that there was someone to come by to come and look at and hopefully repair Rook. Some of the tremendous amount of damage that's been done to her. And so, yeah, we met this very, very sweet and very meek sort of former sister of Carleona, who seems to have been very clearly fallen on hard times and was able to, or had gotten pretty much immediately to work repairing, performing rituals in order to heal her, and was very alarmed about hearing that this was after the result of a fae attack of tracking down some hags, and then while we were waiting for the rituals,
she kind of dropped a nice little nugget too about what might be going on with Rook. Do you all remember that? She talked about, you told her about the age thing, how it seems like she's basically been aging like a year every day, and then the sister was like, whoa, man, that doesn't sound like a medical problem. That sounds like a big fucking curse of some kind.
That's
That
right.
is way above my pay grade. So she did mention that.
Mm-hmm. That's right, yeah. And which certainly makes sense with what Aoife knows of Rook and her a bit about her past, about what she might have used to be. And yeah, we'll have to maybe we'll learn about it from Bartleby. So but after that we went we got dressed, went out for a night from the town, and Lou showed us around to a couple of places that she thought we all might love and adore, starting with Tony and Reginald's Rarities, the weapon shop.
Everything way out of our price range, though. Like, I could never dream to own. Oh, though I did have a little name drop that really pissed off Lou.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, well, you know what? I know. What was her name again?
Frida.
Frida's a good friend, you know. Told me about your shop, and that seemed to perk him up. But they asked for something. Beyond just payment for the sword. Oh, a favor. They're like, oh, if we could get a favor, maybe we could give you a sword. And
or get you a good deal at least.
Basically says
Use
that
the-
Reginald owes Frida a favor. So if you wanted to use that favor to get you a nice sword or to get your sword enchanted, you could certainly do that. And then Lou was like, no, those favors are for important things. Not forgetting my friend's sword.
This is important.
Listen.
Like, I'm traveling with your daughter. Don't you want your daughter to be safe?
I'm gonna protect
Take care
her.
of myself. But yeah, so we did that after a little bit of a tiff in the street. We went to this big fancy dress shop for Aoife, where Lou showed her all the beautiful dresses, and they talked about all the schools in Shasiana that Aoife could potentially go to if she wanted to rest up her feet. Because, you know, once we deal with this very shortly here, we could just live normal lives again, right? Because that's how this works.
Right?
We all basically already decided we want to live here.
Yeah.
Well, it's the best.
It's the first place we've been in the mortal realm that wasn't a stupid camp, and we love it. We love it.
Yeah.
Don't really want to leave.
And then after that, we got coffee in the corner shop. No, it was like between two houses. This little espresso bar, which is like really bougie to sell coffee anywhere. So we got lit so we could go to the club off caffeine.
Yep.
The club. And we go to this place. It was called Club Soul to go see Lark, Lou's sister, perform, which is where we can meet Mr. B and ask him for assistance to get the things that we need to bond to the house. So we skipped a line because we know a girl, and got inside and sat down at our table, where a very fiendish wait staff member came in and tried to seduce the pants off of everybody.
A devilishly good-looking individual, one might say.
Oh, honey, keep talking.
Talk to me.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Aoife was just basically a blubbering idiot for the entire time. So embarrassing.
He was laying it on pretty thick. You know.
You want to take some
It was
levels of
working.
Warlock, Aoife?
Woo!
Maybe at this point, God. I'll do anything. And so eventually after we got to see Lark perform, who was tremendous, just absolutely stellar performance. And, you know, she started doing her set and everything. And we got an invitation to go and speak to Mr. B in the back of the house after we've all downed a couple drinks, which was definitely the responsible thing to do.
We're here to have fun. We're here for a good time, not a long time, everyone.
That's right. Preach,
I'm
sister.
an elf. Speak for yourself.
And so we met a very, very nice person and who was the guard back there. And then we went inside and we found that it was none other than our blast from the past acquaintance, demon of knowledge, Bartleby, who is now taken home up in Josiana with
I should clarify for any new folks that this was a character from campaign 1. So the PCs in this adventure have no idea who Bartleby is, but Bartleby did indeed make an appearance at some point in campaign 1. Yeah, what did he tell you?
And
what did he say though?
My God, he knew everything about us. And granted, it is his job to know things, being a purveyor of many fine knowledges. But it was even more alarming that he's like, "Oh, you've parked your fancy little birdhouse out about a 3-hour walk outside of the city, and it travels on the ley lines," and just knew everything. It was like, "Oh, that Rook that you know, I know all about Rook. Do you want to trade something to find out about Rook?" We're like,
No, thank you.
No. And had said that he was aware of the ingredients in the ritual that we need to perform in order to bond to the house, and would be willing to give it to us if we help him out with just a little teeny tiny thing to be bodyguards for this rendezvous that is happening with representatives of the Slithering Court at midnight.
Yeah. Y'all were like, awesome, cool, we'll see you then. And then you made it back to the house, and Rook was awake. Do you remember that little interaction we had before we said goodnight?
It was really depressing. She was saying stuff like, how do you do this? How do you just go through life feeling like you're dying every day? That's all I remember from that conversation, to be honest with you, because I was like shook.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't recall this.
Yeah, basically, I mean, you came back and her arm had been set and everything, so that healing woman had, done her work, done everything she could, but Rook was still clearly in the throes of like fever and was like in and out of it, and kind of manically was basically checked in with you, made sure you were okay. You were trying to tell her things and she wasn't retaining all of it. But yeah, you got the sense that, I mean, she was like really hating on her body and clearly felt trapped in it and was like, how do you live like this every day? I feel like I'm dying every minute. I can feel it happening. Like, why is it like this? And basically, yeah, you got that out and then passed the hell out again. And then Tony, you went downstairs to get some coffee. You remember what happened with that? So you went downstairs to the restaurant to get some coffee because you're like,
oh,
fuck.
You had a dream.
Yeah, fuck. We've had like a bunch of coffee and then sexy talk and then alcohol, and now I need more coffee and then we'll be ready. And yeah, as you had been like pouring this pot of coffee, I guess this is probably a good point to step in here. So yeah, in those last moments of the last episode, you had been basically pouring this cup of coffee, and then you had suddenly felt yourself, like the world start to spin, like that feeling just before you pass out. And you had in that instant a dream. You remember there was this glass marble, the sound of a marble rolling across the floor, and then there had been voices that were undeniably the Weird Sisters speaking to you, all three of them at the same time. And they had said, basically, as soon as you're able, come back to us because it's time we call in one of our favors. And you had like woken up on the floor of this kitchen. And so now here you are, your ass hurts because you just hit the deck. You had just enough time, like you had made the save to kind of catch yourself as you collapsed. But now here you are, and there are like 4 waiters standing around you because it's 11 o'clock, 11:20-ish at this point. 10-ish because you're meeting Bartleby at the sewer grate at 11. So things are slowing down for the night, but everyone here is clustered around you, and you're on the ground they're all looking at you. What do you do?
You're muted.
You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I think right away she knows this is something that she'd prefer to do alone, but doesn't want to deal with Lou yelling at her for not taking them, or telling them at least what she's up to, because it will affect all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's rubbing
Yeah.
her
Hey,
butt in
are
her
you
back
okay?
as
Do you
I
need some
slowly rise
water?
up.
Yeah, like a human, waiter is like leaning over you, like, can I get you anything? Like, are you okay? Do you want a chair? And somebody's
I'm
like
good.
shoving a chair towards you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I slipped, dropped the coffee. If I can have a new one, that'd be great.
Oh yeah. No, I'll make you some coffee. Are you okay though? You're fine, right?
Yes, I am. Thank you. Let me just sit down for a moment.
Okay. Yeah, and you sit down and people are fussing over you, and eventually like a warm cup of coffee gets shoved in your hands.
Thank you. And I want to wait until they disappear again so I can talk to these two.
Yeah, so they're both upstairs right now currently, so they didn't see you collapse or anything. They're upstairs like getting their gear together and stuff. You had just popped down here to make some coffee for the for yourself.
I thought they were all part of the crowd. All right, then. I'll just pick up the coffee and head back upstairs. And try and bring Aoife to Lou's room.
Yeah. So I think probably Lou and Aoife at this point, you're in full gear. You've changed out of your, evening wear, and are pretty much ready to go when Tony walks upstairs and enters, the family apartment that is above Bucatini.
Hey, guys. Really just trying to give you a heads up here that I kind of had an episode downstairs, and those 3 weird sisters that keep pulling me into dreamland seem to want to talk, and I owe them some favors. So I don't know if we have time for this now, or I should have brought it up later, but it might happen to me again, I guess. I don't want you to be surprised if I get swept off and faint.
Oh, are you muted, Katie?
We can't hear you.
Oh, the muting circle.
I'm
there
hoping that just happens when you're getting coffee and not in the middle of a fight or something. Narcolepsy could be a bitch in our line of work.
In an adventure. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, my ass is hoping I don't do it again also.
And I'm sorry, you said favors, plural?
I mean,
Ooh.
I've had a few encounters with them.
Oh.
Didn't realize it was happening at the time, so but now I know, which is why I'm telling you about it.
She just like limply finger guns back. Thanks.
Anyway.
Yeah, we can't deal with that right now.
Yeah, you're looking at the clock. You're like, oh man, we
seemed
gotta
to give me some sort of choice as to when. So I know when we have a minute, maybe we can work it out then.
Yeah, they definitely said,
after
as
we
soon
meet...
as you can. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, after we get bonded to the house, I think we'll then hopefully have a moment where we can, I guess, see what it is that they want.
Yeah, maybe some cold showers beforehand, preemptively. Well, let's deal with the problem in front of our faces right now, I guess. Do we all have everything we need?
I assume I've also changed.
Yeah, you definitely, I think right before going down to get coffee, you had changed into your armor and stuff. Basically, right after Rook passed out, you all, you got back to Bucatini with about, 50 minutes or so before you had to meet Bartleby. So you've had plenty of time to get your gear, get changed, decompress, and then rev yourself up for a fun midnight adventure. Yeah.
I want to say that Tony is still wearing her little mariachi hat.
Cool.
She's getting attached to it.
Okay. Did you read the
Nice.
content warnings for this episode? Are you sure you want to bring that hat? That's fine.
What?
No, it'll be
It's a
more fun
hat.
this way. Okay, so yeah, so anything else you all want to do before you know that sewer grate that Bartleby had mentioned, because of course he had known exactly where Bucatini was, where your family lived, and the nearest sewer grate off the top of his head without looking at anything. So it's about 2 minutes, around the corner from the restaurant.
All right. I'm ready to just head out if y'all are good.
Mm-hmm.
Off we go to the sewer grate.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so as a reminder, what Bartleby had basically laid out for what you were doing here is that basically the Slithering Court had reached out to him saying, hey, we're going to make the exchange at midnight. Be there. We will trade, because Bartleby didn't say exactly what it was that the Slithering Court took from him, but they have something that he wants back, and he has something of theirs. So they are going to meet and make a trade. So you are meeting at the grate at 11 o'clock, which means basically you have an hour to get down, get to the place, make the trade, and get out of there. And Bartleby felt that, of course, the Slithering Court is going to try and betray and kill him because they're fae. So you got an hour of in-game time. So keep that in mind. Just, rests aren't going to be much of an option. So play your cards well, kids, is all I'm saying. It's been a long time since I've run a tier 1 dungeon, so we'll see. Yay! So you step out now into the night air of Chasiana, and finally the air has cooled down at this point because the weather here is so warm and it's so balmy. Even when you had stepped out of the club earlier, it basically felt, like a warm afternoon. So it's kind of nice as the air finally hits your face and you see, there are still those arcane street lamps that dot the charming cobblestone streets of Chasiana and give you the views of the waterways across the city. But there are now no people walking around out here. Everything is pretty much quiet. Most of the buildings have gone dark. The last patrons of Bucatini are also starting to filter out. So there are, a small group of people still smoking, chatting outside. But the city is definitely closing down. So as you walk around the corner and go to the appointed place, it's very clear when you get there, there is a tall figure standing in the middle of the street, wearing like a long overcoat and a fedora. That's just this lone figure in the street kind of watching one of these merchant boats pass by on the canal.
Mr. B, is that you? Eva will quietly call out.
Wow.
Yes, and this figure turns to you when you say that, and you see a gray, like an ash-colored skin elf, maybe, turn around and look at you, kind of nods their head, and says, "Good, you made it. That's the first step. You ready?"
Sure. Are you gonna lead the way the whole way, or?
Oh, no, I'm a scholar, not a fighter. So this is entirely on you. Please. And the elf, who sounds a lot like Bartleby, points at the grate, which is one of those heavy, iron ringed things, pointing clearly for you all to open it.
Okay. Lou will go forth and lift this grate.
Nice. It is very heavy. I don't know if you've ever tried to lift an actual sewer grate, but damn, those things probably 50, 60 pounds of just
yeah, Tony will squat
iron
down and help you out.
Yeah. So yeah, Lou, you go.
I didn't need it, but it's fine. I guess you can help if you want.
Scrapes along the cobblestone and ugh, it's just a terrible sound. And Bartleby makes a sound. And you see, looking down now, this hole that leads into pure darkness. You can see that there is a little step, iron step ladder for utility workers to climb up and down. It just leads off into the darkness. And immediately, the smell of trash and fetid water and mold just drifts up and hits you in a wave as soon as you open up this grate.
Delightful.
Aoife, do you have some like spare scraps we could stuff up our noses?
Oh, that's a pretty good idea. And then she'll like, dig through her bag and pull out some like, scrap pieces of fabric.
Yeah, nice. Just shove those. You got some like little daisy print and some lace, and just get up in there. Nice. I think it helps more that you're doing it. It's more of a. It doesn't actually block much, but you feel better. Yeah, psychologically, it feels like it. Yeah, and I mean, you can see that the tunnel down below, it is pretty tight in there. So let's establish a marching order. Who is going first?
I can, because I've got 120 feet dark vision.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh yeah. Who's our no dark vision baby in this party? Is there anyone?
Oh,
Aoife.
Our wee little Aoife.
A wee little Aoife.
How do we want to handle that before we proceed?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be. There's no light down there, so
Yeah. Aoife was
Do I have
pretty
dark vision? I didn't actually write it
As
down.
an orc, I
sure
believe
you
you do.
do.
Okay.
Sure.
I believe you guys.
I think you get 60 feet.
Yeah. Aoife would want to cast light on Tony's sombrero.
The little balls.
There's the light. Okay.
Oh, what a beautiful hat. Oh my god.
Wow. It's glowing.
Oh my god, weird. See, nobody will see me because they'll just see this big lit up hat
glow
behind me.
hat.
I'll just stay low to the ground.
Yeah, so you do have dark vision, Tony. You have 60 feet of dark vision.
Great.
Which is great. Okay, so we were lighting the hat. Lou is going to be leading the way.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. And then who's following?
I like Aoife and Bartleby in the middle.
You're gonna be the rear guard, Nassim.
Sure, I guess. I figured the light would want to be in front, but I'll be the rear.
It sheds like 20 feet of bright light, and then
Yeah. Well, everyone
feet of
but
dim
you
light.
can see just fine. Oh wait, no. Oh, Aoife was the one. Okay. Do we want to put Aoife closer to Lou?
Maybe you should cast light on something that's you have, so that if we get split up in the middle of a fight, you have more than 20 feet of light. Like, or you don't have like.
Or you can wear the hat.
Oh my god, cute.
I mean, okay. Sure. Let's see. I guess she could put it on her rapier.
Okay. All
Yeah,
right.
and then you can sheath it too if we need to. So that's
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, that's a
Good
good thought.
idea.
Okay. So we've got Lou, we've got Aoife with the light, and then we've got Bartleby, and then we have Tony in the back. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know at any point if this changes. Otherwise, I'm just going to assume this is the order we stay in.
Okay.
All right. So as you crawl down, and each of you lands at the bottom of this tunnel, you are in a pretty sophisticated tunnel for, this like generally medieval-esque fantasy time period we're in. The Eldrin Empire has made a lot of significant advances in terms of infrastructure. So the sewer system here is pretty complex, especially because so much of Chauciana is that, the waterways and the traffics that flow through the city, a lot of them are man-made. So there are a very complex system of locks and like reservoirs and aqueducts that make this city work. So this sewer system is all part of that. So when you're looking at these tunnels, they are all like paved round stone tunnels that basically carry all over the city. So, and these tunnels are vast and complicated, and definitely one of those things, like if you didn't know where you were going, you could absolutely get lost and trapped down in these places. So as you drop down to the bottom of this rounded tunnel here, you splash into the little bit of liquid and refuse and just trash that has kind of built up down here. And you can tell, the walls and the floor in this place are slick with just slime and all the other wonderful things that accumulate in these dark, dank places. So you carefully land there amidst the splashing, and you can see that the tunnel stretches on far beyond your range of vision, Lou, in both directions. And Bartleby gingerly climbs down this tunnel here and takes the fedora off of his head and puts it in a bag. And immediately as the fedora comes off, his features revert to the demon-like features you saw before, the pointed ears and the gray skin. And he looks one direction, then the other, and says, well, I can get us to the lair where the Duke resides. But once we do get there, I haven't been given specific instructions. It is shielded from me. So I'll only be useful up to a certain point.
That's quite a... go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say I'm grateful for what we can have, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then, yeah, Aoife will add, that's quite a bit of power if they can shield something from you.
Yes, the Duke of Pudding is one of the courtiers of the Slithering Court. So basically the number 2 of this. Probably a bad time to say that. Yes, here I am now realizing that. They do have quite a significant amount of power. Below the monarchs, there's none other in the courts to be true. So, not a person to be trifled with, in summary.
Aoife's thinking in her head, and you hired us.
You were just so convenient.
Oh, man. All right. Well, and Aoife will be like, well, give us our general direction then, I suppose.
Yes, this way, and points down the tunnel and waits for you all to lead.
Time to shuffle. Wish I would have worn my muckalucks.
Wow. Yeah, so you start shuffling, and Bartleby keeps calling out, directions like west, north, east, just over and over and over again for just, it seems like forever. It's just all dark, like nasty, bad smelling tunnels that just wind and wind and wind, and you know that if Bartleby wasn't here, you would be lost. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, these complex systems. Sometimes you have to go up and down and travel, like, up ladders and along locks, basically going around all of the canals that wind through the city. Until eventually you come to, like, a crossing point here. And Bartleby looks around and says, I'm pretty sure this was the place. And you're looking at 3 basically like dead end flat walls.
Huh. Okay, well, I trust your memory, so let's start looking for any secret handles or entrances. If we all want to take a wall.
Could be an illusion of some kind, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah. So what are you all doing to try and find this entrance here? Investigation checks feel appropriate, unless you have something else in mind.
I would like to use an uninterrupted minute and my virtuoso heroic destiny, but like to do my investigation to look around this area.
Yeah, so what's the effect of that feature? One more time.
As long as I have 1 minute of uninterrupted focus on the task at hand, I can treat any ability check dice roll of a 9 or lower as if I had rolled a 10.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you can definitely take a minute. You haven't seen anyone else or heard anything other than, the sloshing of your own feet through this nasty little place. So yeah,
we are starting off hot with a big old 5.
Yeah, Aoife. Boy, is it gross down here. I don't know.
She strikes so hard.
have you ever done anything like this? Because, like, your clothes now are starting to get, like, you're worried the smell will never come out, honestly, at this point.
She's trying so hard not to have, like, a panic attack about how much everything stinks.
Yeah, and it's so cramped and small. So,
Ugh.
yeah, you're just having a real hard time just even getting there. But Lou, what did you get?
Well, I'm glad that I have my heroic destiny because I got a 4, but that means altogether I got a 16 with my thing. So
boy, is that nice. Boy, is that nice. And then Tony, what are you doing? Are you helping with the search, or Bartleby is not. He's standing there looking at the walls, thinking.
I can totally help. You rolled a search?
Investigation, yeah.
Oh, wait, no. I don't think you want my help.
Okay. So Tony, you're splashing around also kind of looking at whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Lou, with a 16, you go and you check the wall immediately in front of you, and you don't find any kind of levers or triggers or anything. And you look back at your companions who are kind of splashing around, like, gingerly afraid to touch things and not really getting in there, and you're like, fuck. So you go back and look at those walls as well, and you see that on, the right wall where Tony was kind of playing around in the water, you do see that at the very base of this wall, there is, like, a can that has been, like, shoved onto something, and you can pull the can away, and it looks like a little foot pedal at the very base of the wall.
I will put my foot on that pedal and push down.
Hell yeah. And as you do, the wall in front of you starts to rattle, and then it rolls to the side, and there's you thought it smelled bad, but oh boy, when this opens, it's like a seal on, like, some Tupperware, that you've just left for too long without opening up. And as that, like, stench hits you, you're like, oh God. And you can immediately see the source of the smell. You are looking now down a really long stone hallway. And you can see that there are, like, alcoves kind of in the distance. It goes far beyond your 120 feet, so you can't see the end of it. But immediately at the beginning of this hallway, a iron spike has been driven into the ground, and on it, shoved on the spike, is, like, a rotting humanoid head. You would guess maybe Eldrin, but you're not really sure because it's been decaying for at least a week here, and that's just there.
Well, that's the grossest welcome sign I've ever seen in my life. But to be honest, out of character, I thought you were going to say there was a poop golem, so I'm happy.
It was a shit golem. I promise there are no shit golems in this. I'm sorry. I'm glad I frightened you enough that is what you expect of me. I'll take it as a compliment.
God, I can't wait to meet one now, though.
Well, I mean, is there anything with a brief glance? Is this just like a warning, basically, or is there anything on this spike / rotted head of note?
I mean, just looking at it, it looks like somebody has, chopped the head off of this person and put it there. There's a lot of, like, crusted blood on the floor, kind of, like, drags down the hallway. So maybe somebody dragged a body or, disassembled it here and did this. But it feels like a warning to you. It feels pretty clearly like a don't fuck with my shit warning, if you had to guess.
Lou, can you tell what kind of person that was? You recognize any sort of face on that thing?
Oh, okay, I'll get closer to it.
Yeah,
we gotta go down this hall.
That sounds good. You wanna make a medicine check?
Sure. I'm okay at those. That's a 15.
Yeah. So you get close, and you definitely have to, like, cover your nose. As you do, those fine chef senses we've established are just screaming right now as you get
It's gonna
closer.
take days to get this shit back in order.
Yeah, and you are looking now at it, and yeah, based on the bone structure and the, you know, the like the smaller size, and like one of the ears is still there, and it is pointed and like upwards along the skull in that way that Eldrins clearly are, and you can see now, you know, the skin tone beyond the green is sort of like a lavender. So you would guess, yeah, an Eldrin man. Looks a little like scruffy. So certainly not like nobility or anything, but I mean this might have been even just like an opportunistic, you know, person.
Yeah.
Used to send a message.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, no one I know looks like an Eldrin male, but I think it's just don't come in here sort of thing. So let's go in, shall we?
None of us
I'm gonna...
are Eldrin, so what's the harm?
Okay.
This is a no boys allowed club, is what this
Oh,
head is
that's
trying
what
to
it
tell
means,
you.
yeah.
They should have just put a cute sign, not a fucking head.
It would probably occur to you, Aoife, too, like if there was anything like a fae would use to send like a "Hey bitches, we're here" message,
Mm-hmm.
it would probably be an Eldrin, considering how they generally detest the fae.
Mm-hmm. Clearly,
Oh.
as we've seen earlier today,
Yeah.
being called, not her specifically, but you know, hearing the term "fae scum" being thrown around lightheartedly, she's like, "Oh yeah. If this is where fae live, that makes sense." Checks out.
Maybe Aoife, you should be in the back and like just stay real close behind me.
Just carry her.
That'd be fine. I'm the one who speaks Sylvan anyway.
I do too.
I sure don't,
That is
but
true.
I have knives.
My knives speak for me.
Everybody speaks knife. All right, well, let's keep it moving because we're on a deadline. I'll keep an eye out for like any sort of traps that I can see as we're moving through this long hallway sort of thing.
Okay, that is good. What is your passive investigation then?
16.
Oh, that's very good.
Nice and slow.
Okay, 16. Yeah, and I'll say, I mean, you have probably now, after, you know, meeting Bartleby and walking down here, you have about 40 minutes to deal with this. So I don't want any of you to feel rushed in game time, but basically I'm just putting the time limit there to let you know, like, you ain't got time to do a rest.
No naps.
No naps. No naps. No Cliff Bars today.
I would not eat a Cliff Bar down
I know.
here.
Yeah, you're like, nope. I never want to see food ever again. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So you continue down the way. You know, stepping gingerly, keeping your eye out, Lou. Do you have like a scanning method or anything you do in particular? Because this is the first time we see you rogue in a dungeon looking for traps. What's your game? What's your strategy?
Chef in a dungeon.
Chef in a dungeon.
Yeah, I think that she just like is very used to being in undercover situations, so her stance doesn't like change or anything. She doesn't look like she's like on edge, but she just walks very collected but slowly through the hallway, and you like will just see from behind her head tilt every which direction, and every now and then she just like stops, takes a few steps towards something and squints, and then she just like gives a thumbs up.
Nice.
But she stays very calm and collected throughout the whole thing.
Sure. Yeah, so we see, you know, Lou making those checkpoint stops. And I think, Tony, this is probably something you've seen like scouts do in the army, or like rangers in particular. So I don't think you've had like dungeon crawl training, but you would recognize what Lou is doing instinctively. Yeah, so you continue down the way and you come to the first of these like alcoves that you had kind of seen off to the side. And Lou, you know, you're doing your check, you're scanning, and you're about to move past the alcove when you see on the wall suddenly like a mouth appears in the stone. And you all hear in common, just screaming out from the wall, "Have you made peace with your gods? You should now, trespasser!" The mouth yells at you.
Lou's just like flabbergasted.
We have an appointment. We have an appointment.
You say, and the mouth smiles, but doesn't say anything else.
We're here to meet the Duke of Pudding. We've come to make an exchange.
The mouth continues to stay frozen in a smile.
What is this? Is this just like some kind of enchantment in the stone, or like is this like a creature?
You want to make me an Arcana or a Nature check to determine that?
I guess. Not really my shtick, but yeah, that's a 6.
Okay, you're like, I fucking don't know. The wall isn't like moving or anything, but it's freaky. It looks like, yeah, the bricks of the wall have moved to form this smile. And when it was talking to you, you just saw like the black gaping hole, like, in the wall. But
It's just fucking enchanted.
This whole place is just trying to scare us off.
Any other check for traps? Shall we check again?
I mean, she's got
I'm checking.
Yeah, she's got the, passive investigation up. So basically, if there is a trap that has a DC of 16 or lower, I'm gonna let Lou know if she sees it. Otherwise, y'all can assume to keep moving along. But yeah, I mean, the mouth doesn't seem to say anything, so you could keep
Lou's
moving.
Just like, let's just keep moving, guys. I don't believe in gods anyway. She just like gives a side eye to that fucking wall.
And you keep walking, and about 30 feet away, you come to the second of these alcoves, and once again, the wall splits open in this smile and says, "Trespassers will be maimed."
So we're not going to be stealthy in this dungeon, as it turns out.
Yeah, these things are screaming. They are very loud. Loud enough to certainly scare like a rodent or anyone who is like skittish. Certainly. There's also something really weird with the voice. I know I'm saying it weird, but also like you hear a sound, there's something about it that bothers you. It just doesn't sound quite human.
Weird.
Well, message received. Moving on down.
Can't wait to be screamed at 3 feet from my face again.
Love it. Love this. Yeah, and you keep walking, and Lou, now you can see at the very end of this hallway, there is like a heavy iron door that doesn't seem to have any kind of handle or anything. And there's like one alcove right before this door. So you keep walking, and you come to the end here, and you turn again and look, expecting this wall to speak to you. And it says,
come again.
There's like, it whispers something that you cannot hear from where you are standing. Do you lean closer to it?
Yeah, a little bit closer.
Yeah, and
before you do so, I would like to give you a bardic inspiration.
Thank you.
Just in case. Wait, which is the one that Lou has? Do you have the clover? Where I'm trying to keep track of our lucky charms.
Heart.
Oh, you have the heart.
Yeah, she got the first one, so she is the heart.
Cute. So your little heart glows.
Think of Captain Planet.
Yeah. And yeah, you lean in close to this thing, and you hear it say, "What's the password?"
Okay. It said, "What's the password?" I don't.
Oh, and
think
Bartleby
we've
goes,
had
"Oh,
any
yes,
indication."
no, I have this. And walks up, and they gave me the password and instructions to get here. Nothing about what's
great.
inside. Part of the trap, I'm assuming. And leans in and says something. he puts a hand over his mouth, like clearly so you all can't hear it, and whispers it into the wall. And the smile turns into a frown, and you hear like a sound as the door opens up. Well, hopefully
great.
it'll all be this easy.
I somehow doubt it.
Great.
Well, back to the back with you.
Yep.
Lou kind of just like
He nods and goes right back to the back.
Lou will like lean her head in and kind of like look around where the door's open.
Yeah, so you stick your head into this room here, and it's a pretty big room, maybe about 80 feet across or so, and it's also a little louder in this room than it has been previously. You can see that the room in front of you is it's pretty tall. It looks like one of those central rooms where you can see a lot of different pipes flow into this room. So like high up on the ceiling, you can see, you know, grated tubes that have like dribbles of water that are splashing down into this space. And you can see here, like the grate holes are very large, which has allowed a lot of like trash to come and fall into this room. And as you look at the floor, you would be like stepping down slightly into about a foot of like fetid water, and just like piles of garbage have been, you know, piled up all around the room. So honestly, you can't even see what the actual floor looks like beyond the filth and the mess, and all of these different pipes coming into this room here. So big room full of trash. And then on the very far side of the room, you can see that there is another like raised balcony at about the same level you are, because if you have to step down, on that other side, there's like an equivalent little balcony. And you can see another iron door over there that is shut on the far side of the room.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Unless anybody has anything special that they want to try to do. I keep looking at my character sheet like I'm gonna have a spell like
No sorcerers. No here. Rogues.
Actually, you know what I can do? I'm going to go ahead and pull out my glasses and put them on. And I'll press one of the little rosebud buttons for the X-ray vision and try to look through the garbage and see onto the floor of this place to see if I notice any like what are those called? Plates that could like step in, or any traps or anything underneath the water.
Pressure plates.
Love this. What is the range on your X-ray vision?
Let's see here.
Can't remember if it's like
radius,
if
30
it's
feet.
just equal to, okay, so 30 feet. Yeah, so as you are looking down into the room, yeah, you're looking through the garbage, all kinds of stuff, I mean, has been thrown down here. But as you're looking, you can see that in the center of the room, it takes up a lot of the room here, under the heaps of trash, there is a big circular grate that's maybe about like 10 by 10 feet across. So that must be like the grate, and that has a pretty like fine crisscross on it. So this room, probably what it's for is like water and trash comes in here, and then lands in this room, and then just the water slowly filters down through this grate. So you can see that very clearly, that large disc grate. But as you're looking at the rest of the room, yeah, there don't seem to be any like pressure plates or anything else weird going on. You're too far away to see what is beyond that door on the other side. But that seems to be
plus
the
that
only
one I only have an inch through metal, so even if I was that close,
yeah, so you probably couldn't see through the through the heavy door.
Yeah. All right, there's just a big grate in the center. Might want to avoid that because I don't know what's under the grate. But let's just stick to the walls, but not under that nasty ass water, and try to get to that door on the other side.
Okay.
I turned my glasses off, by the way.
Yeah. Save that charge, that battery. Limited battery life on those. Yeah.
Those
Okay.
glasses are fucking sick.
Hell yeah, they are. So Tony, just to summarize, tubes, like pipes coming into this room, lots of like gross water and trash on the floor, big circular grate just in the center of the room. That seems to be like the big filter, basically, that water can move through, but trash cannot. And then that door on the far side. So yeah, so you want to step into the room and just kind of pick your way through the trash and filth to get to that door.
Mm-hmm.
Fun. Yeah, so you make your way across, and you can definitely tell this room would be considered difficult terrain, just because it is so hard to step up and down. And also, like Aoife too, you know, you don't have shoes, so you're like trying to not, you know, get tetanus as you're moving across, like, because this is all kinds of stuff that people just throw out, you know, of their houses, or like stuff that lands in the river. And so there's sharp things, there's metal, wood, you name it, it's here. So you gingerly make your way across. You do see that Bartleby kind of hovers above.
Of course he
Course.
does.
All of this, looking around. He's doing it very, like, just above it, so almost like you wouldn't notice, but he's, you know, he's not trying to show off about it as you move across this room. And you get to
He's
the
also not trying to share the wealth.
Yeah, no, he's not here for that. He's saving his spell slots. You know, it's fine. So you
I don't know why, but for some reason I had myself convinced I had the ability to walk through difficult terrain without it being that difficult.
No.
But I was just wishful thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks. But you make your way clinging and slamming across. And I mean, like you said before, there's no way you're sneaking up on anybody. Like this whole place is just so loud as you are moving across. And you do eventually reach that other door. And yeah, Lou, you can see it looks very much like those heavy kind of utility doors that you saw as you were passing by here. You do see that there is like a thick padlock that has been put on this door.
I have something for that.
What do you know?
It's like I'm a rogue.
Like
no,
I'm here for this. Or
yeah, so
something.
she's gonna she's gonna go ahead and pull out of like her little boot a pack of lock picks, which only Aoife has seen her use before. And she's gonna look back at the rest of everyone and be like, old house, locks are tricky. And just start working at this lock.
Okay, yeah, so give me a
Aoife
dexterity.
rolls her eyes and looks at Tony.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, God,
We don't-
her mother? I don't think so.
Yeah. You don't know by now? Yeah,
So-
so,
Point to keeping up this lie.
so that
I will
dexterity
forever.
ability check with your proficiency. I'm assuming you're proficient
Yeah.
in thieves' tools. Yes.
I am. So that is going to be a plus. Hold on. I hate that thieves' tools isn't on your like skills thing. It's just like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, so it's a
Inside.
dexterity ability check. So you roll a d20, add your dexterity
Plus
modifier,
3.
and then since you're
Yeah.
proficient, just add your proficiency bonus, and that's it.
Yeah, I was just looking for my proficiency bonus. So
Yep.
that's 15 plus 3 is going to be 18.
Okay. So you rolled very well. So as you are like swirling your thieves' tools around, you get to a point where you realize like something is wrong with like the next lock that you would have moved, and you pause and you give it a little tap and you realize that there is a trap in this lock. And it feels like you're probably going to set it off in some way. Even if like you can open the lock, but you will set off this trap because you don't have the specific key. So you can do it and you can try to prepare yourself for whatever it might be, but something is going to happen if you open up this lock.
Gotcha. Okay. She's gonna like pause for a second and look back at Bartleby. She's like, you don't happen to have a key with that password?
No, I was given the password to get in, to the lair, nothing else. So I wouldn't trust that.
Great.
Whatever this is going on there.
Well, unless we have a way to walk through walls, we're gonna have to trigger this trap I just found. So anything you guys would like to do before that happens?
Oh yes, and Bartleby moves back 30 feet.
I will walk up in front of you and like take a defensive stance around you and try and protect you.
Oh, thanks.
Bartleby
Get a
moves
+2
back
to
another
your,
30 feet.
AC.
Yeah.
Aoife?
We'll stand next to Bartleby.
Great.
You do still have that bardic inspiration. Remember.
Mhm.
He'll give one to Tony too.
I do have my breakfast inspiration.
True.
Bartleby looks at you
Inspiration.
when you move next to him, Aoife, and is like, a good choice.
All right, here we go. Ting!
Whee! Yeah, so you press, doing as much as you can to avoid whatever you can. And so you do, and you turn it, and there's that moment. Go ahead and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no, that's not my thing. Okay, that's an 18 plus 2, 20.
Okay, So the-
16 for me.
16 for you. Oh, don't worry,
Or is it-
Tony. It's not
Does
for
not
you.
matter for me.
Nope. So I will say you did everything you could and did your best. So you are not getting the worst of this. But as you're gingerly holding the lock and like spinning the pick, you feel your palm starts to get very warm as something is like dripping out of it, and you realize the lock is melting in your hand, and like this green fluid kind of seeps down and over. You're like fuck, because you were ready for it, right? You're like you're doing everything you can to get it off, but you feel your hand like cramping up and like rivers of pain just shooting down your nerves, like, and you're like, oh my god, if it had gone worse, it might have sprayed all over you. But it's just limited to your hand. So go ahead and roll me a D8.
Damn, that's the one I don't have out. 4.
Okay. So you lose 4 hit points, and your hit point total is reduced by 8.
Ooh.
Cool. By 8?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, that's
no.
rough.
That will be healed on a long rest. But for now, basically, you have like those 4 over are basically just temporary hit points. So if you actually have other temporary hit points, those 4 are going to go away in favor of, because you can only have one source of temporary hit points.
Now I have to do math. Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you feel like your arm get weaker and almost like wither as whatever this slime is like crawls across your hands, and like some of it seeped. You can feel it seeped into your skin before you could get all of it off. You hate to think what would have happened if you had failed that. But the lock is gone, and you can feel the handle is now turnable.
Great. She's just like whipping her hand to get any residue off. She's like, okay, no big deal. I opened it.
This is fine.
Nothing's.
Yeah, your hand
This
is
is-
numb. It's like if when your whole leg goes numb, that's what your arm feels like
Yeah.
right now. Yeah. Sucks.
Hey, Sage, I have less hit points than you now.
That's good.
Oh boy.
Hey, you want to take the front now, Tony? I'm feeling a little worn out. I'll be right behind you.
She looks back and gives like some like dead eyes over to Bartleby, like, I hope we can have some drinks over this later on to talk about some compensation, little workers' compensation here.
Oh, you're getting plenty out of this deal.
All right, good to hear. I will take the lead.
All right. And you see that the room just beyond this door, it's not what you expect. As you open it up, you are looking at it. It's still a stone room, rectangular in size, but it looks like a loft apartment. Basically, down here, you can see immediately in front of you. There's like a ragged dining table that's definitely seen better days, and a bunch of different mismatched chairs all shoved around it, and like some bookcases and chests. You can see a couple like bunk beds shoved against one end of this room here, and the walls are plastered in like posters and graffiti. Yeah, and you see on the table, it's dirty, though. Like, there are, like, cups and, like, rags that have been thrown everywhere and some, like, broken stuff. You see
So
empty
it's still
wine
stinky.
bottles. Yeah, I mean, it's still stinky, but it's odd. It's not... It's a little bit nicer than... It's more like a college dorm you're looking at instead of just, like, a sewer thing. You can see, yeah, like, a big box of something, like, on the table and, yeah, some empty wine bottles scattered around.
Sounds
space.
exactly like my college dorm,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. The floor is sticky. You have no idea why. That's
Oh.
there you
It's
go.
been that way for a month. What the fuck?
Are there any other doors leading out of here?
There are not.
Interesting.
And
Okay.
there's
That
no one in
guy's
here?
name was Mr. Pudding, Aoife?
The Duke of Pudding.
The Duke of
Duke
Pudding.
of Pudding.
Yes. Nope. There seems to be no one in here. It looks like people go through here regularly. Just, I mean, from, the mess and stuff. This looks almost like a flop house where somebody could, stay the night or hang out.
Well, then I'll just start searching around the room, seeing if there is anything to open or close or look into or left for the trade. I don't know.
Yeah. So go ahead and roll me an investigation if you're getting like really into looking, or do you just want to like kind of take a look around the room?
Well, this is why I don't do any of the investigations. I have a -1.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, you can just go ahead and like give it a scan. If you move into the room and you just start looking around, there are definitely some interesting things about this room. Like you're seeing now, a lot of these like posters look almost hand drawn. You're noticing, and then these graffiti patterns you're seeing like painted on the walls and stuff. They seem to all kind of have this motif. A lot of them are like wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Or like, you see these big like figures that you weren't sure. You're like, was this just like a really fat person? But you're like, no, they look like kind of like these flowing, like undulating things with like eyes in them. It's weird. You see these symbols and things like that, like all hail the Duke, this kind of stuff around the room here. And things
I'm
like
getting
pudding
a
cup.
clear image of what this Duke of Pudding is going to be like.
Yeah. So it seems to be like fan stuff, I guess, of whoever, whatever this
like a
being
shrine
is.
to this Duke in here.
Yeah, and it's like irreverent stuff. Like what like they would do for like a punk band, right? It's like this like big, weird guy that we love, like It's odd. And you can see also too your cursory investigation, the box that is sitting on the table, it looks like a moldy cardboard box, has a bunch of bottles in it. Most of them are empty, but some of them are not. You would see 2 like small vials that have some kind of green liquid in them, and then one is like a big clay pot that looks very out of place in here because it's nicer than everything else, and it's got little designs on it of leaves, and as you lean in, you're like, oh, they're like decaying leaves and like dead animal skulls, like as you're looking at the lid of this thing.
Ew.
Wow. This thing's cool.
Yeah, it's
What's
maybe
in it?
yeah, it's like a something, it's like a vase. You could put, flowers. More like a chamber pot, honestly. It looks like a chamber pot.
Uh-huh. What color is it?
Yeah, it's like a burnished umber. So like
Okay.
finished in a kiln, like ceramic.
Mm-hmm.
Do the green vials look like the ooze that like got onto my hand when I was picking the lock?
Um, sort of, but maybe that's just because it was green. You had to shake it off pretty fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to open up this little pot and see if there's anything in it. Or I
Yeah.
shake it around first.
Yeah, you shake it around and you can hear like stuff slurping in it.
Slurping?
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
Lighting
Something
on
wet.
fire.
Huh? Yeah, just burn it, burn it. You still want to open it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I'll put it down and open it.
Yeah, you put it down and open it, and ooh, whoo, the smell, fun. But you're starting to get desensitized to it, but this is a unique smell. You can see that at the very bottom of this pot, there's like a green film, almost like algae, that is starting to form and liquefy a bunch of like leaves and dead stuff. It looks like
What's
somebody
a compost
just shoved
heap?
in this. Yeah, it looks like a compost bucket, right? Yeah, and this like green stuff is starting to like fill it as the stuff is decaying.
Close it back up. That's less cool. So,
All right, Aoife will start picking into it because she's just a naturally nosy person. We'll just start like picking through all of like anything that looks even at all mildly personal.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
like, what's in this?
Woo! Go ahead and give me an investigation check as you're getting nosy.
Very nice. That is an 18.
Okay. Yeah, so you are looking around the room and you look in chests and stuff, and it looks like there aren't a lot of like personal effects here, but there are clearly signs of you're getting like a motel, feeling like this is somewhere somebody comes to stay when they need to, and then, takes all their personals and leaves whatever behind. So other than like those interesting vials and that weird jar, you're looking around, and you do, just happen to like look under one of the pillows on the bunk beds, and you see there's like a little scrap of paper, and you see it has 3 lines of text in like a scrawl of somebody who is clearly not great at writing, but you think it says S, and then there's like a W-E ? And
Sweet.
then there's a 3rd line that's just a question mark.
Weird.
SWE question.
Maybe it'll come up later.
Yeah, she'll stash that. Why not? Okay. Heading over to these files. Let's pop one open and get a sniff of what's inside.
A little taste test, little potion taste test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, as per the rules of D&D 5th edition, you can like just go ahead and poke a little fingy in there and like dab it to your tongue, to figure out what these are. These are potions of resistance.
Oh,
Sexy.
Specifically, acid.
Oh, how useful.
I want one of those.
Hey.
I feel I have earned one of those.
One for everyone except for Bartleby.
There's only 2.
Oh, there are only 2. Okay.
There are only 2. You can see that there are a lot of other vials that are empty. So clearly people have been taking these and using them. Maybe to even move around in this place. And then, so it's just the 2 full potions of resistance, acid, and then this weird pot.
Weird.
Well, the both of you should have them.
Oh,
Can we,
okay.
if there's the green shit in the pot, is it like, can I tell if it's like ready? Can I pour one out into another thing and have a third one? Or like,
You can
are they
so
making it?
also you can do like the test and you do the
Mhm.
same thing. You're like, no, that is not a potion. Whatever that
That's
is.
poop.
That is not
No, I'm
one
just
of them.
kidding.
Even if it was, Tony's not interested in that. He doesn't need it.
Oh God, I'm gonna eat so much spaghetti when I get home to wash this out of my mouth.
Well, while you all think about what to do, I'll refill my drink. But there are clearly no entrances or exits out of this room. So there might be something you're missing.
I can do another investigation. Look, she said there were beds
Bunk beds,
and then
yeah.
Bunk beds.
and a table with the stuff on it.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we've looked at the table at all.
No, that's where I found the
No,
box,
that's where
isn't it?
the
Oh, that's where that. Okay, that's where that
Mhm.
was. Got it.
maybe we start moving furniture.
Checking under the mattresses.
What else can we look at?
We were never told what it
maybe-
is they're trading, right? It's just
Mm-mm.
information.
Oh,
It could be.
yeah. Maybe behind one of these posters, there's like a scooping out of jail sort of hole.
Yeah, I'm curious about the graffiti and the posters.
Mhm.
I can't with the jiggle, jiggle, jiggle or whatever. Dude, the Duke of Pudding
wiggly.
is going to be so good at twerking. I can feel it now. Maybe this is just a dance battle. This is the final boss.
Mm. The Duke of Pudding is Lizzo.
Oh my God. I would stay in the sewer. Senses be damned. We just play flute and dance.
She's my patron forever.
God. Goddess Lizzo. I would worship her.
I would make a warlock pact with Lizzo.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a good ass time. Okay, so when Celeste comes back, take posters down to look behind there, and if need be, move the beds and stuff. I'm also wondering this SWE thing, maybe on the posters there's like words
Mm-hmm.
or something that we can,
Cross-reference.
yes, thank you.
Yeah, the graffiti was like, "All hail the Duke," which has none of those letters in common.
I know all the words that she said on the walls have I was like, fuck.
right.
I need to look up potion of resistance, so I have that. God, I have 16 hit points now.
It's fucked.
Terrifying. Hello.
Hello. All right, kids. What's the plan?
We wanted to check the posters that were on the wall, see if if there's anything behind them, B, if there's any like lettering or anything on that corresponds with this SWE question mark thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so you keep looking around the room, and I think you search it up and down, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's anything left to be found in this room, which means that probably where you need to go is in the room prior.
Should I go in
We
here?
have to go into the grate.
Sorry, guys. Twitch
Oh.
keeps like popping up, and I know we get the random like weird noises. I'm so sorry. It won't mute for some reason. Sorry, streamers. Okay. Sorry, what was that?
I was just saying we're gonna have to go into that nastiest water and go into that grate, aren't we?
Mm,
Uh,
perhaps.
we can also look at the tubes coming in, I guess, too.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I'm gonna
But-
give you all a sweet freebie and let you know that that pot is a magic item if you do want to take it.
Mm.
Well,
It's a dungeon.
I'll
You gotta
take
get
that
some
freebie.
loot.
Because I wanted to bring it, but then it had nasty shit
Yeah,
in it.
there's definitely nasty something going on
Then you
there.
called it a chamber pot, and we were like, we're out.
It looks like a chamber. It didn't smell like pee. It didn't taste like pee because you put
How
some
far
on your,
we
in
have
your mouth.
fallen. Last campaign, I stole a golden chamber pot,
Yeah.
jewel
I was
encrusted.
literally
And now
thinking
you're
about
too
that.
good for it? Wow. Wow.
One more freebie. Is that liquid necessary? Can I just dump it out?
You can dump it out.
Yeah. I don't
I
need to
will
be
tell
carrying
you
all of that
further
around.
examination, perhaps a check might give you more information, but for now you can dump it out and keep it with you.
What kind of check?
I imagine Arcana.
An Arcana check, yes, would
Or
be.
Insight.
Aoife, do the thing. I'll
And I
help
can
you.
do Arcana.
Insight is about like reading facial clues and expressions, so you'd be looking at
So
the pot
what if I can recognize, like, I don't know, a pattern on
listen.
All right, Arcana. Whoop, sorry. 17.
Okay. So I think, in the heat of the moment, like without further testing, you can't really be entirely sure. But looking at like the motifs on the lid and everything, it does seem to be like decomposing things. Putting decomposing things in this jar seem to have some kind of effect. It's creating something. Whatever this slime is, it's a cause and effect thing. So you're not sure right now what it is, but you think that is part of it, how to use it, at the very least. So,
It could be useful. Not really sure right now. But...
It's not like a right now useful thing, but they're doing something with this.
Celeste, you got me a composter for my food cart. So kind.
Yeah, I love
there you go.
compost. You could use this as a compost bin and for something cool.
Tandy would be
Okay.
really into that, I'm sure.
Mhm.
Recycling.
Oh my god,
Returning
love
to the
it,
earth.
recycling.
Okay. Well, now that we've got this awkward pot to carry with us, since we're
Well, you can dump
babies
it
and we
out for
don't have,
now, and keep
Yeah,
that
I
with
mean,
you.
we're still babies and we don't have a bag of holding, so
Shove that in your
everything's
backpack,
awkward.
All right, let's head back, and then I guess how high up are the pipes that lead into the previous room?
Yeah. So the highest points, yeah, those so the things that are gushing, like streams of water and like the occasional bit of trash, are about 40 feet off the ground. So
goodness.
pretty high.
Oof, I think not.
All right.
I think
Great.
we gotta go down potentially. I really don't want to.
Yeah, I agree there. All right, shove this trash out of the way that's on top of this grate and see if we can move this grate.
Yeah. So you start like kicking at, the trash that you saw, Lou, is basically just, blocking this grate. And as you do, it's nice. The water in the level in the room starts to lower a bit because now that all the trash is out of the way, more water is splashing down into whatever is down there. And you can see, the latticework crisscross looks very similar to the grates up above on the street level. So, yeah, it is something that you could, like, lift and shove, but it's definitely going to take a lot more effort as you're doing that. So as you're clearing away and, stuff is clattering on and off and you're trying to, like, clear and get a view down, why don't all of you go ahead and make me some perception checks?
Groovy.
19.
That's a natural 20.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
damn.
fish, let me get out your way.
Oh, shit.
And a 16 for me.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you all fucking are great. So you, like, are clearing things out of the way and talking about, the best way, like, how are we going to lift this? Because it's clearly going to be a 2-person job to lift this and involve quite a bit to, like, get some leverage here. When, you kick off, like, one of these, like, a rusty helmet or something, and it splashes off into the water, and there's, like, a pause moment where you're like, wait, something was wrong, because you heard a second splash that, like, immediately followed that, and none of you have moved anything. So you look just in time over towards, where you kicked off that helmet there, and you see that coming up from the grate is like this tendril of grayish something like slime that moves up, and like a thin little rope comes out and snakes into the water, and you see more of this gray sludge following behind and like disappears into this pile of trash. And then on the very far side, another one of these like snake ooze things comes out, and rustling starts in these piles of trash here as you see these slime things have crawled into like amalgamated suits of armor and trash, and now are like hobbling towards you both, like in those awkward movements where like there are no actual muscles or anything like animating this armor, but they're coming to get you. You got some ooze-filled armors here, so everybody, let's roll some initiative.
It's like a trash hermit crab.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and it suddenly makes sense. If they're oozes, yes, traveling through the grate would be super easy.
Would you say that it would be great?
It would be great. It would be great.
I'm sorry.
No, I
Eva
loved
got
it.
a 6.
I loved it. Eva got a 6. Okay.
13.
Oh wow, Tony got a 5.
Oh. Okay. All right. So
Just a little bit horrified.
13 for. Ew. Have any of your characters ever seen an ooze creature?
No.
No. Okay.
Certainly not.
Then this is horrible. This is like a pile of goo that is just inhabiting these armors. What the hell is that? It's like you're being attacked by mold. It's great. Super great. Okay, so, oh boy, they both rolled surprisingly well, which is unfortunate. So here we go.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable. Let me just pull this little windy over here. All right, sweet. So as you all are taking this in, and these two like trash ooze beings are coming shambling towards you, you do not react fast enough to avoid one of them taking a swing at. Let's see. There are. Oh, also Bartleby disappears.
Of course he does.
Naturally.
No idea. So, taking a swing at Aoife, just from behind you here. One of these things is coming up, and it reaches out and like slashes at you with, the arms, these rusted arms of half together armor bits. So here we go. All right, that'll be a 10 to hit you with the first one. No?
No.
Okay, so the first one that you just see the awkward movement as clearly like the ooze is trying to figure out how hands work, and it limply flops away from you. It's easily avoided. But the second swing comes in here with a 14.
That hits exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so you were like, haha, oh no, they can't move very fast. And then you're backhanded across the face by a gauntlet as you take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as it just makes contact with your face, and you're definitely getting tetanus.
No.
No! Luckily, that's not a disease in the D&D, so you're safe for now. But Lou, so you finally get a hold of yourself, and you see, one of these things is ambling right towards you and Tony, and Aoife just got backhanded by one.
Oh, okay. She's going to make her way over to the one on Aoife.
Okay.
And she'll take out the big knife.
The big
and make her
knife.
first
TM.
attack. All right, that is gonna be a 20.
Ooh, yes, a 20 will certainly pierce through the shoddy armor that is starting to fall apart.
Right. I get my sneakies, so that
Yeah.
will be 6, 8, 11 plus 3, 14 points of piercing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Ow. 14? Ow! rogues, man. And your sharp, well-maintained steel, it's like on those infomercials for the good knives when they show you like cutting through different things. You know, they're like, yeah, no worries, like paper, whoa, like metal. So yeah, you just shear right through this thing, and like half of the chest plate just falls off, and you see a little like ooze tendril arm waving, and then like slurps back into its body to reincorporate.
Get back in there.
Yeah.
And then I will use my bonus action to do an offhand attack.
Yeah.
Oof. That's an 11.
At 11. So this time it is too quick. It manages to turn around, so your offhand glances off of the armor shell that is protecting it. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Well, Tony, that means that you are all alone on the far side of the room. So this second suit armor ooze thing is coming for you. So it's gonna reach out and try to get you, try to grab you. Definitely has the same issue as the first one, where it can't even hand for the first attack, as it just flails and misses you. And then, but it comes around with the second one. Oh my god. Oh wait, I was rolling damage. Oh, that makes sense. Hang on. Oh god, a 23?
To hit me?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the first one, it's just like, oh no! And then the second, like, uppercut, like, throwing, its body up under your chin. So that's going to be 8 points of bludgeoning damage as this thing just uppercut.
Ow.
Sorry, I've been rolling like max damage, both of you. I'm so sorry.
Does 1 trillion hit?
Does like 1 billion? How about that? So, Tony, you're just, seeing stars for a moment as this thing just punched you with a force that it should not have because it's goo in a suit, but that's fine. Aoife, we come to you.
Oh, geez. Well.
Oh, God.
Oh, barnacles. Well, she's going to, with her, whip out her rapier again, and then just head towards turn around towards the one that smacked her in the back of the head, and is going to plunge her, at least attempt to plunge her rapier into its squishy, gooey body.
Yay, goo.
Oh, it's so bad.
Oh,
That's
no.
like a 6.
No.
It's nowhere near hitting.
What does that absolute failure look like, Aoife?
God, she just she tries to line it up, and then it as it dodges out of Lou's offhand attack, it just swings this metal plate in front of it, and you just hear as the point of the rapier just dings into this metal thing, and you just hear it echo out, and it reverberates up her arms, and she's like, ugh.
Hate that. Yeah. That sucked. Anything else?
Yeah, that's her turn.
It's hard to be level 3. It's so hard, you guys. All right, Tony, we now come to you. You've recovered from seeing stars, and this thing is shambling right in front of you.
I mean, I also don't know how effective it is to swing my sword at it, or if I should just hold my shield and slam it down on top of it.
Lou's normal knife seemed to do damage to it. So that's a pretty good indication that your sword will also do something.
All right, then. Up we get. We pull out Clyde, and we swing away.
Yeah!
Okay. Well, that's going to be 11, I think, to hit. Can I use my inspiration to do that again?
Yeah, you can absolutely
Breakfast
do that.
inspiration.
Save that.
Your breakfast inspiration, yeah. So that would be how does that work again?
Because she ate something that I crafted, then I get to pick one person to have inspiration.
Yeah, and that's game inspiration. So yeah, you can go ahead and do a reroll. Yeah. So rolling with advantage.
I'm inspiring my breakfast. Oof, that casserole.
16?
A 16. A 16 will hit. Hell yeah.
Yay. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
She burps and a little bit of bacon comes up. flavor, not like
you know
a
what?
little bit of
It's
bacon.
fine. It's all
not that
gross.
intense.
It's all gross here. It's all fine. I'm not going to judge. I will not judge.
Far from the grossest thing we have seen or will
Yes.
see.
Yeah.
It's 9 slashing damage.
9 slashing damage. Nice. Yeah. So you again, it's this thing where this suit of armor, these little bits of trash, can not stand up to like a finely honed blade. As you shear through a bunch of that, and you just see big gashing slashes in the armor allow you to see to the like undulating gray thing underneath that's puppeting this armor. Anything else for you?
I think I will action surge as well and just try and take it out one more time.
Do keep in mind that I've warned you, this dungeon will keep going and you will not have a stop. So you might have a bigger fight after this. Might as in sure will.
Yeah, but it's not a once per short rest move, action surging.
Yeah, it is.
You only
Oh,
get
I didn't
once.
even read the other half of the thing up
Yeah.
here. I thought it ended on the bottom of the page. It's like up here
Mm-mm.
on the other side.
So you only get one
Okay.
of those at this point. So this may not be
Yeah,
the time
you're
to
right.
use it. I'm just warning you.
All right, then that's my turn.
Okay. All right. And then we are coming back up here to the one that is attacking Lou and Aoife at the moment here, which looks, I mean, you did some serious damage to it, Lou. So it's hurting. About half the armor is gone, and it is going to turn its attention away from Aoife, who didn't hit it this turn, and focus its ire on you, Lou, as the source of its pain. Will a 13 hit you?
No, thank God.
So you definitely dodge out of the way. And then a 9. So this thing just can't manage to hit you. And it's trying to
No.
navigate, having only one arm now, and it's trying to kick, and that just doesn't seem to be working for it at all. It has no understanding of anatomy, which seems to be ruining
Lou's
it.
eyes just glow in the dark with just extreme desire to not be touched by any of this shit.
Hate all of this. Well, it's your turn, so how you get your revenge.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go back in and try to slice off another piece of armor here.
Get out of here.
That sucked. That's a 9.
Yeah, nope.
So then
nope.
I will. Yeah, she just like goes in for a stab and just punctures like a sour carton of milk.
Yeah,
Ugh.
you're like, oh, that trash wasn't actually part of the suit. It was just stuck to the suit. Gotcha. Yep, no worries.
And then she's gonna go back in for an offhand attack. That is gonna be a 17.
Ooh, a 17 will
Nice.
do.
And I can use my sneakies. So I didn't use it before.
Sneakies.
So sneaky.
That is gonna be 10 points of piercing damage.
Ooh, all right. How do you obliterate this suit of armor? I will say you don't quite get the thing inside, but what's your slice and dice?
Yeah, I think I literally that. I just
Mhm.
dice it up. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so she will go ahead and just take her knife and just like turn the blade so that it's flat. And instead of going in to slice, she just like moves it in figure 8 motion and just knocks all the trash out of the goo. And just like gives it one last flick to get the shit off her knife.
Yeah, as you do, yeah, it crumples around, as the ribbons and just it disintegrates. And you can see this thing now outside of the suit of armor. It's a pile of sludge. It almost looks like wet sand because it is like grayish kind of color, maybe about the size of like a beach ball. As it splats onto the ground there, and you can see it already starts to kind of reform into a triangular pile and seems to have 2 little arms that are waving angrily.
It's kind of cute.
I know. It's kind of cute. But also, so you've gotten it out of the armor, but this thing is still here. Undulating threateningly. Anything else for you, Lou?
Delightful.
No, that'll end my turn for
Nah.
now.
No, we Gucci? Okay. Then we
No,
are
I'm good.
going to go to the second armor that is still armored. Tony, it's coming at you. Here you go. Swing a 20 to hit. Yikes.
Yep.
So it's going to club you for 4 points of damage as it gets a swap in there. And then it's coming around with a second one, but this was only a 10, so you managed to, deflect that shot here, but it gets one good punch in on you, which brings us to Aoife. So you have a pile in front of you of this sludge thing, and then behind you, Tony is still dealing with the fully armored version.
Yeah. She'll run around, or she'll turn around and run back towards Tony to give her a hand, and we'll try and thrust her rapier again into the other one of these creatures.
All right.
That's a natural 1.
I don't think Aoife is
So
ever
bad.
hit with
Rolled
a
a 2
rapier.
and then a 1.
No, I think you got 1 hit in episode
Yes.
2. Yeah.
I think she got 1 in by the Quicklings, maybe. I don't know, but she is clearly not a skilled swords person. And she is
Don't you have magic?
not magic that damages. What do you want from
I'm
me?
a bard.
I want you to be a stone cold killer at the age of 17.
Oh boy. Yeah, you just clang off of it, and you see you puncture it. You make a little hole, and some like sludge water like comes out in like a little shooting stream and kind of like gets in your face. And that seems to be the extent of the damage
fantastic.
you've done. Nasty sewer water.
That's all for her.
You good. Tony. Oh, Tony. It's up to you, kid.
All right. Well, we're gonna go for the armored one around me
Okay.
with our greatsword again.
Huzzah.
That's a natural 20.
Oh, shit.
Hell yeah.
My Tony dice are treating me right tonight.
Ooh,
It
all right.
is
So
time.
roll those
be
dice twice.
4 d6s. Yeah.
Ooh.
Love those 4d6.
Love that journey for you.
Well, 12 slashing damage.
Is that
Nice.
plus your strength modifier?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so you
Rolled a
get
9 and then 3.
you get a great hit off on this thing as you're just shattering, the exoskeleton of trash this thing has amalgamated. And just like the one that happened to Lou, the armor disintegrates and there's this sound as like it just seeps onto the ground, and there's this little pile now of goo that's like wiggling just barely above, because there's about a foot of water right in this room still, so there's enough of this thing that it just the top of it crests above the water, and it doesn't have eyes or a face or anything, but you can tell it's looking at you, which creeps you out.
Step on it. Try and block out whatever face there is.
Do you have an attack left? Because it will definitely try to
No.
avoid that. Okay. Don't worry, kids. We're not done. We are not done. So, we come back up to the top here, where this pile now. So you are standing all on your lonesome, Lou. So it is. Let me just switch over. So you see this tentacle, this pseudopod, if you will, launches out of this thing and comes at you like a whip, basically, as it's trying to lash at you. Just this mass of gray ooze, looking to do a little slappies here. So, oh god, okay, that's only a 9. So you're like, no, you're doing some rogue shit.
Not today.
Yeah, you are just getting the hell out of the way, which is working great for you. And then, Lou, we come to you. You get to respond.
Yay. I don't have anyone next to me, so and I still want sneaky. So Lou is going to go ahead and just look like she's about to go deck this thing in the face. But right as her fist is about to make contact, she's going to trigger her sonic blade from her sleeve.
Cool.
And you guys just hear a noise as just the air around her fist. You can see just like particles go around the shape of a blade as she sticks it right through this thing.
Cool.
And let's see if I hit. Yes, that is a 16 plus 5, 21.
Yes.
And that is going to do...
Piles of goo do not have a great AC. I'm just going to let everyone know right now.
That'll
Hey,
do...
you know what? Don't take away our victory.
I mean, they had great AC when they had
11 points
trash
of thunder
armor.
damage.
Yeah. Wow, 11, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. Okay. Yeah, you splatter
Surprise,
this...
motherfucker!
Yeah, you splatter this thing, and you see about half of it just, like, vibrates into non-existence as your sonic blade passes through it. So you have absolutely halved this thing directly. And so now it's barely, like, creeping above the surface of the water. And you can see it is starting to assemble itself now, and it looks like it's getting ready to launch itself back into the grate after that, like, devastating blow. Anything else for your turn?
Action, and then I get to do that. Yeah, I'll do an offhand attack because why not?
Woo!
Oh, that's not the right die. Okay, that is a 16.
Yeah. Great hit. It's like shooting fish in a barrel at this point.
All right, and that's gonna be just 3 points of damage.
Yeah, so you slice more off the top of this thing, and, you know, like a parfait, it's just starting to lose those layers. Hell yeah. It is very small now, and absolutely panicking, which is going to bring us now to the other ooze, who is still squaring off with Aoife and Tony. And this thing... I don't think it realizes the other one is in dire straits yet, so you see, again, this tendril come out of this thing, and Tony, it's whipping towards you. Fuck, Tony. I don't know what. I'm like, with Lou, I'm rolling 10 or below. With you, I've only rolled 18 or above. So, a 21.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah. So, here we go. This is rough. So we're going to start by taking 5 bludgeoning damage. And
all right, this is a good start.
7 acid damage. And are you wearing non-magical metal armor, my dear? You are, aren't you?
No, actually.
What are you wearing?
Does she just wear, like, leather?
Leather.
Ooh, great. Okay, that is good news. So I have
the shoulder plate, that's it.
Okay. Well, just for your look, though. That's not like actual, your AC isn't... Your AC, you're using leather armor.
Yeah, I guess so. That's true.
Okay. So as this tendril, like, slaps at you, you smell burning. Like, when somebody, you know, stamps into leather or something, like that singe of whatever that acid damage is, like where it flicks on your skin, that's what you're taking the damage from. But you can see it leaves a burn print in the acid, like on the leather here. And you're like, oh shit, if I was wearing metal, that probably would have just corroded right through that shit. Also, something to note, your sword is made of metal. So now you're like, uh-oh, if you were to slice through this thing, you wonder if it would affect your sword. Just something to keep in mind. No. Yeah.
Okay. All right,
so
we can make adjustments.
Whatever these things are made of, it seems to be highly corrosive. But your leather armor saved you, Tony. Good choice. Aoife, we now come to you.
Seeing that Tony is not looking great, she's just gonna, reach out and her little magical needle will go and start to stitch up Tony's wounds, and we'll throw a level 1 cure wounds on you to heal 7.
Oh,
Nice.
amazing. Thank you.
And that is her turn.
Hell yeah. All right, Tony, we now come to you.
Okay.
So you know if you hit
then
this
we're
thing,
gonna put away.
yeah, if you hit this thing with your metal
Yeah.
sword, it's probably going to be bad news.
Yeah, putting her sword away. She's gonna take out her whip,
Whip.
her leather whip,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and whip it good.
Whatcha?
Oh, nice. 19.
Okay. 19 absolutely smashes into this thing. So go ahead and roll your damage. They seem to be able to move
It's not gonna
very
be much, though, is
slowly
the thing.
out of the armor. They're slow moving, easy targets, clearly wearing no armor. They got an AC of 8 kids. So
5 slashing.
okay, yeah. So you sink into this thing, and like what was happening with Lou, you just pieces of it are disintegrating as you're flicking off some of this fluid here. So it's still there, but these things are now officially in trouble. Anything else?
Great.
You just have one
I'd
attack
also
right
like
now.
to take a bonus action.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to use a bonus action to get a second wind.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, go ahead and roll that.
Yes.
Rolls that health. Sweet. And then we do come to the next Ooze's turn, and that one it is going to try and make a dash for the grate. So you get an attack of opportunity, Lou, as this thing is trying to just launch its body back down into that grate. I see you so excited, but you're so muted. Yes.
I
what?
got a natural 20.
Oh, God!
Oh
destroy
no,
me.
poor guy. At least I don't have sneak attack damage at least. So that's gonna be 7 points of thunder damage.
How do you obliterate this thing?
I think that the high-pitched sound emanating from this sonic blade just turns into a full-on screech as she like amps it up and just stabs it into this thing before it can get away. And she is going to immediately turn back towards like the other one, kind of like stand between the grate and where it seems to be looking a little nervous. Jiggling a little nervously, I guess.
Yeah, he is undulating. Yep. So you move over there, and it doesn't have facial expressions, but I would be nervous. It's probably nervous. Which brings us to its turn, and it's surrounded now by all three of you, blocking the grate, but it's got no other chance at this point. So you see it, spiral out into that rope as it tries and like does a leap into the grate. So all of you get attacks of opportunity. So I guess let's look at initiative order. So probably Aoife, you would get the first swing since you're the closest to it and next in initiative.
Nice. All right. Yeah. With her rapier, not knowing any better, she gets. Oh damn! That is a 17.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh well.
Oh, yeah.
Roll your damage.
7.
Okay. So you slice through this thing, you splatter a ton of it. It's still not all the way dead, but you're like, yes, I finally hit it! And you smell something, like, coming from your rapier as it starts to singe, as you see the edges of it, like, burning away, and, like, pitting with this thing's body on it. So your weapon basically takes a -1 now, to damage rolls, and if the penalty drops to -5 in total, the weapon is destroyed.
Cool.
So you still have some room. You could theoretically get 4 more hits on something like this, but if you do that, your shit is toast and a -1 to damage for now until you get it repaired.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're like, oh no! Look at the rapier. But Tony, it now comes to you. You get an attack of opportunity.
All right, here we go.
Whatcha?
Okay. That's 13 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and it's with my whip again, so. Whapa!
Yes.
Oh, only 3.
Okay. 3. You still, I mean, it's scrambling. It's so small now, Lou, as it comes in, like, just feebly flying through the air, trying to get past
I don't have
you.
a reaction.
Oh, shit! It doesn't, so you do not make it. And you're like, no, as this thing, and you see it, it's like spun its body to be only about like an inch long rope or so. These things seem to be able to transform themselves, and easily it swan dives into this grate, and you don't hear anything for a while until there's a splash far down below. We are out of combat.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I kind of dropped the ball there. I was getting my
At least
bearings.
it's gone.
Sure. How are you? Lou just goes over to Fuss.
You know what? After all that, I'm kind of back up to speed. I know I got knocked over a bit, but thank you so much, Eva.
She makes little hard hands at you. Lou, do you need any healing? Are you all right?
I'm okay. I didn't get touched by any of the slime boys,
Yeah.
so.
And Bartleby appears all of a sudden and says, oh, good. I'm glad you all are still alive. We should move on. He looks at his wrist like there's something there, but there isn't. We should move along.
What time is it?
We are running out of time, is the short answer.
Oh. So, I mean, does anybody else have any other options that they've come up with other than jumping down in this grate? Because I still really don't want to.
Well, it seems pretty clear to me, since we are pursuing the Duke of Pudding, that they're probably going to be down there. You do know pudding is a type of ooze, yes?
I'm starting to think it wasn't rice pudding, that's for certain.
Oh,
Definitely not tapioca.
oh. I just
Let's name more
assumed-
puddings so we still don't have to do this.
Yes. Well, yes, on you go. Waves hands for you to lift up the grate.
Do you have a crowbar of cooking over there, Lou, to help us
crowbar
jimmy
of
this
cooking.
thing open?
That's how I open my
That would be
coconut.
ridiculous. What kind of chef has a crowbar?
I have a machete. No.
I totally have a crowbar.
Oh.
Mhm. I know.
What?
It's for opening
But since we have about an hour before,
the deep freezer.
the beans, the cans of beans. You need a
Oh, we get so many
crowbar.
shipments of fresh produce that I have to open.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just in
yes,
case I
there it
bring it
is.
with me.
All right. So we
Fine.
opening up
But-
this grate.
Yeah.
Yep. And before we jump down, head down there, Aoife is going to cast See Invisibility, which lasts for an hour.
Neat.
Oh yeah.
Neat. So you cast that and
Aoife, go in front. Just kidding. Don't do that.
no, don't, please. So you struggle to get this grate up, and because it is quite heavy, it probably weighs at least 100 pounds. But after some scraping and moaning, you do manage to move it enough to the side that you can look down. There is no ladder or anything. Traveling down into the dark, you can see about 20 feet below you, there is just dark, cloudy water with pieces of trash moving around in it. So it just looks like a sheer drop into a bunch of water.
we should pile up the trash and shove it down there so then we can jump onto that so it'll be less of a big jump.
Won't that be quite loud?
Oh,
They already know we're here. They know we're coming. It's not like a fucking surprise, Mr. B.
He looks at his wrist again.
Maybe the big stuff we can push down.
Yeah, if they're like bigger pieces of refuse that we can shove down there through the hole, so think of us just something
I mean,
to
there were
jump
also
on.
those mattresses. Are they small enough to shove in?
There we go.
There you go.
Oh!
Hell yeah. Let's get some mattresses.
Yeah, you can find sure. You can find a moldy ass mattress and like shove it down there, and you see it. Yeah, it splashes and bounces down and up and is like floating on the surface. I will say the other trash that you shove in there, it just boop and like disappears to the bottom, and you're like, oh, that's probably deeper than it looks. Is your general impression?
Nope.
Mhm.
Oh, well, I guess I'll.
But yeah, there's that mattress.
What
That
do you say,
sweet,
Aoife?
filmy
I'll
mattress.
fucking go.
Yeah.
And I
How
will.
far down is this?
It's only a 20-foot like drop to the
Only
surface.
one
of
way
the
to
water.
find out.
Okay.
I will jump on in.
Splash as you land, and the mattress does that thing where it sandwiches around your body under your weight, so you get slapped on both sides by moldy mattress, and you're like,
Just
why?
a squelching,
Why? And it
slapping
sinks with
mattress.
your weight, yeah, and the thing, and you're like, what was this idea? So you're like, kind of have to kick mattress off of you, and you're fine. You're treadmilling now in the water, and that's better than the mattress, honestly.
She just kind of like kicks the mattress away. She's like, "Don't do that. That was a bad idea."
Your hair is wet. Everything's wet. You're so stinky. God.
It's gonna all get wet anyway if it's as deep as I think it is.
Plop on
Yeah.
down.
It's deep.
Yeah, you can't feel the bottom, Lou. Yep, so you all jump down, and Bartleby floats down gently.
I hate him.
And kind of hovers above the surface of the water. He's like, I'm sorry. So looking around this
You're
room
not
here,
sorry.
it is the exact same size as the room up above, a roundish room. Where you are looking now from, you can't feel the bottom of the water as you're treading. You can see that there are 4 tunnels that lead out of this room. You can only see the very tops of them, though. So it looks like 4 like tube-like tunnels travel off in each of the cardinal directions. And you can see just from like, the couple of inches that are visible above the water, it looks like a portcullis blocks each of them there. So maybe you could get a better view of what's going on if you choose to dive below the water. But right now it looks like you're kind of stuck in this place where there are 4 ways to go. Yeah, and it looks like you're going to be swimming.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Nasty.
So you have definitely gone to the second level of the sewers, where this is mostly just filth water that you all are in.
Oh god.
Love it.
Love it. Love that. Love that journey.
Lou turns to you all and she's like, "I am not putting my head under this water.
I swear to fucking
You
Let it be
sighs.
known."
And she says, I'll do it.
I will bake you a big fucking cake after
The
this.
worst part is
Thank
having
you.
your eyes open, I think, under this water.
Pink eye for sure.
For sure. 1000%. All right. So we like basically plop into like a 4-way intersection. We're just going to go with right. And she's going to head over to the right, and she's going to, with her glowy rapier out, dip her head under the water and just swim.
Yeah. So you can see, from below water, basically, you're confirming what you saw down below. You see that you are in like a cylindrical chamber here, and water clearly is meant to flow through each of these 4 ways. And there is a rusted lever to open the portcullises of each way. So yeah, you can go northwest, east, or south. So you want to go to the east?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, Aoife.
Ooh, south. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we'll go to the east.
All right. So you go ahead and you swim over to the east, and you all feel, the rest of you who aren't underwater, like kind of a shaking in the room and like a scraping as, Aoife, you throw that lever to the portcullis, and that way opens up and opens. So you can see down the long tube that travels into the darkness. And I will say, like, you are swimming underwater, but there is like 3-ish inches, right, where you can come up and breathe. So you don't have to worry about like suffocating, but we are subject to the rules of like underwater combat. None of you have a swim speed, right?
Oh no.
Okay. So then this
Good
is
heavens, no.
So this is going to be difficult terrain for you all, and then all your attacks are at disadvantage while you're trying to swing underwater. Is the deal.
Okay.
All right. So you want to all continue swimming down the eastern passage that is now open?
Yes. This is totally the sheet we found. The SWE. So what was it? There was a question mark next to east. We're going east, right?
Yes.
So there were 3 lines
So I think
on it. The first one said S, and then the second one said WE question mark, and the third one said question mark.
3 lines.
And the fact that the W and the E are next to each other makes me think maybe it's not cardinal directions, because if it's like directions in a way that you go, like why would it be south and then west east and then question mark? Like why wouldn't that all be in one line? But I'm intrigued.
Okay. Let's find out what happens. I don't get it. I hate puzzles.
We're doing something.
My
we're
brain too
start off.
small.
So we're gonna continue swimming to the east. Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So we keep going, and are we swimming in the same order as we entered? So Lou, Aoife, Bartleby, Tony?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So
Yeah.
Lou, you keep swimming ahead. Aoife's opened this, and you're like swimming through the nasty filth, and coming up to like get that air that well, it's nice to breathe. It's horrible. This whole place is horrible, but whatever. You continue to press on, and you're coming to the end here, and you still refuse to put your eyes below water to look ahead.
Oh no fucking way. I'll die first.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you're like, you're coming up from air and trying to navigate, and like, and you do not see at all this coming, because it's just the worst. Everything is the worst. When you feel something wet drip on your head from the ceiling and like moves to coat your body, and you realize like this green, like viscous liquid, like snot has just dropped from the ceiling. And honestly, what this has just dropped on you looks exactly like what was growing in the pot, I will just say. But let's sidebar, let's find out what happens to you.
Great.
Love this.
It's like Futurama, I'm gonna grow like a mutation.
Yeah.
So as this thing moves on your body, it's not like it just dropped on you. You can feel it like siphoning to your skin. Like it has some kind of sentience as you feel it starting to swim up your nose and trying to get into your mouth and like reaching into your eyes. And it's like, plastic wrap. It's trying to like encase your body here. So this shit is coating you at this moment. So you are going to take 8 points of acid damage as you start to feel it eating at your skin, and burning away and just trying to like crawl inside your body.
You have that resistance though.
I didn't drink
You
it.
didn't drink it.
Oh, you
so no. Hell
Oh,
no.
you guys
waiting.
did.
I was waiting.
It is eating away at you. So I am going to go ahead and let's do like just a mini initiative here to see what happens. So Lou, I think you're startled as fuck. So between Tony and Aoife, why don't you go ahead and roll me some initiative? Or if one of you has an idea of what you want to do first. Now's the time. Within 6 seconds, what would you do to react to this?
I don't know. I feel like I would honestly shove her underwater and try and like flush it out.
Yeah, for sure.
But it might totally make things worse.
I hate everything that's happening.
Aoife, do you want to let Tony do this, or do you want to try to do something first?
Aoife lets Tony do it. She has no idea how to react in this
God.
Okay, so Tony, what exactly are you doing? So you're flushing it out. What does the process look like here? Because I think you dunk her and it doesn't automatically come off, right? It doesn't just wash off. It seems to be, it's like a film, right? So are you like scrubbing it or like trying to peel it off or just hoping that'll do the trick?
Yeah, like I'm giving her an intense shampoo or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to get it off.
Scrub it
all over her face as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're getting in there and you're like making sure the sewer water gets in there and like scraping at her and like moving because you have gloves on, right? I would assume so. Yeah. So you have gloves and you're just like getting at it and you're scraping it off. You can feel as you are doing that with the combination of the water is disintegrating whatever this was. So it's like algae almost that has coated. So you get it off. And Lou, the burning stops and you open your eyes. You're like, what's happening? And then your eyes start burning because you're in fucking sewer water and it's just the worst thing ever. But you're fine.
Gets a breath of air into her lungs and she just goes, you should have let me die.
Let me die. Let me eat my skin. You're crying red. Yeah, it's sewage. Like, oh God. Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. I'll get you a spa day later. Don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it, but I will take the spa day.
So it seems that east was not the right direction to go, and you see a dead-end wall right in front of you.
Okay.
Back.
Aoife's definitely now chugging the potion of resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, drink that right down. Okay. Hate that.
Let's go south, I guess.
Swimming back.
Okay. Do you want to swim back?
Are we assuming?
Oh, go for it.
Wait. I don't get what this fucking like the three. So should we go? Because the question mark at the end of East was bad, or was it just that they didn't know?
Yeah, so it's hard. Yeah.
So I can't decide if we should just go north, or if we should, and if like we want to go towards the question mark, or if that's just all goop. Question mark equals goop.
I think it's gonna be goop everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be like the order of gooperations. It depends on whether we think that the southwest east note or the SWE question mark, whether those are instructions or observations and how we want to interpret that. Because if we take it as instructions, then we'll want to go southwest and then somewhere. If we take it as a description, then it could be maybe describing what's immediately below here or like what's connected in these passageways.
I don't know. I've been gooped. I want to go home.
Let's go south.
Okay. So you travel south and you swim through, looking above like, oh my God, what? And as you get in, you see this tunnel doesn't end in a wall. You open up into another chamber, identical to the one you were just in. So south, seem to be the correct way to go. So now you can travel west, east, or south.
Okay. Let's go west.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me a percentile die, Sage?
Jolly good. Where's my other D10? There it is. All right. Is that a 1 or a 7? That is 13.
Okay. All right. So you continue traveling, swimming to the west, following Aoife's lead, and you appear in another identical circular room, where now you can go north, west, or south. And this is the one that occurs to you, that third line on the note. Whoever was writing these instructions didn't seem to be sure. So you've got a 33% chance of guessing this right. So how do we want to go, kids? North, west, or south?
I don't know. Someone else pick. I can't do this anymore. It's so gross.
Oh, what are you doing?
What was that,
Oh, sorry,
Nassim?
Nassim.
So we went south and then we went west, correct? That's what we've done so far.
Yes.
Say we go south again.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. So you go ahead and you move along to the south. And as you're swimming and swimming and swimming, you're starting to go like, oh, this is feeling like an awfully long time. And all of you kind of pop back up just to, check your bearings. And you don't see the end of a passageway, but you see like a big bluish wall, you think, as you're looking down this way, and it like kind of expands to fill the whole tunnel here. And you look below the water. You can't really see it because the blue kind of blends in. It's almost translucent. And you look up above again, and you realize that this thing, whatever it is, it's like a cube that has been compressed into this small tunnel, and it just starts racing towards you as it's spinning down the hallway, like streaming towards where you all are.
Sick.
But that's where we're going to end the episode proper for the moment here, with this big blue-ass gelatinous thing running towards
I
you.
apologize.
You are so close, though, kids. So close to
Dude,
dealing with
I will say this does get to check off one of my D&D checklists of like things that I want to encounter, which is like a tunnel or a room that is just full of goo, like
Yay!
a gelatinous being.
We're doing
I
it.
haven't done that before.
Yay! I know I've never actually had a gelatinous cube show up in a game, which is so weird because they're one of my favorite monsters. They're so weird.
love
They're
them.
so weird.
I just remember they're the one from Out of the Abyss is like the only one I can think of, but I didn't meet it. I just saw it.
Oh yeah.
in a Let's
But
Play.
we can't quite leave there, because in all of that, this moment, and especially to Tony, like when you were thinking about, seeing that effect on the sword and everything, and, shielding, Clyde, and it's, you don't know why in this moment, like of all things, like of all the dangerous situations to think back to, but you remember thinking back to that first time, you ever saw that sword, when it was offered to you by your father, if you could please for once in your life, like, be good and learn some discipline. And I think it's that flash of memory. We see, like, Tony is maybe 6 or 7 years old, and you feel yourself being, like, roughly moved through the streets of Phelan at this point, as this city guard has their hand on your shoulder and is steering you in that way like shitty adults do, towards that inn where your parents are staying. And you just know, you feel your heart sinking, right, as you get closer to, like, you see the spot where, your family wagons are parked outside, and you're getting closer to the inn door. and this guy just isn't letting up. You've tried to get out of his grasp a couple of times, but it's just not working, and he knocks on the door, and you see your father answers it and looks down, and you can see the worry lines on his face, wondering where you are. And like this gigantic, orcish man, you see his vision travels from this guard's point all the way down to you, and he crosses his arms in that way that just tells you so much, and looks at this guard and says, "Thank you, officer. I can take it from here." Tony?
Dad?
And he
I'm
waves.
sorry,
and,
officer. It won't happen again.
I think that's what you said last time. You're lucky I'm a friend of your
Must have
father's.
been a different kid.
Go. And yeah, your dad's like, go, 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 and kind of ushers you inside and closes the door. And it's early in the morning. I mean, maybe, 11 o'clock, or you've been out playing just for a few hours here. So there's nobody else really in the inn. But your father looks tired, and it's been a long day. You've just closed like that latest sale, and like getting the horses all the way from the shifting plains and all the way here. And like you're finally at the point where these merchants were holding out, but it's gone and it's done, and you're getting ready to travel home. But he just looks exhausted as he looks down at you and points towards one of the empty tables for you to take a seat.
She goes over and sits, plops down.
Yeah, and he sits down, in the chair on the other side of the table across from you, and kind of folds his hands in front of him and looks up at you. So what happened this time?
Well, Dad, you wouldn't know. You never know because you're not there when I'm with the other kids and the merchants. I mean, they were just wasting your time today, and they wouldn't shut up about it. So I had to make them.
Tony, we're guests in this city, so it takes a little bit of diplomacy to make that happen. I know they can be tiresome, but we are guests in their home.
Well, we treat our guests so much better than they treat us, so
That's
I don't know.
True, but it's a matter of culture. People here are preoccupied with things like money and bargains and deals, and if we want to work together, we need to learn to understand other people, to see through the little things they say. And I mean, what were those kids even saying to you?
Well, just that, their dad or their whatever is gonna end up taking up all our crop for as cheap as they can get, and they know that they could get it without. Well, doesn't matter.
Oh,
They
it
just-
does. It does matter. It always matters what you think and feel. You know that. So tell me, what was it that made you want to fight those kids, really?
They called you a dumb orc. The same stupid stuff every city says about people like us.
Tony. He reaches out a hand, his like gigantic hand, because I mean he is a tall man. Just everything about him is big, but so gently he reaches this hand out and grabs yours on the table. Do you think that, Tony? Do you think that we're a
No.
bunch of big dumb orcs?
No.
Then why would you believe it when a child says it to you?
I'm just sick of hearing it.
Me too. But then again, most of the people in this city, and all cities, all they know is fear. That's why they have to build their little walls and live in their little boxes. It's because they're afraid. And the thing they're most afraid of is people who aren't afraid. Like us. People who know what it is to be under the open skies and to live with danger and to live and learn and fight for the right reasons. Not because we're afraid. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess.
What do you... Tony, when you think about the future, what do you want to do? Do you want to be like me and trade, interact with other people? Do you want to be like your mother, heal? Have you given that any thought?
Well, Mom does is amazing, and I think I could be good at it. I mean, I do really like being with her in the garden, but I don't think I could do that all day, every day. I like going with you and seeing new places. It's just that a lot of these new places aren't what I hope they'll be. So I just want to keep doing this as much as I can. Go find new places and find places that like people like us.
Well, Tony, the world isn't full of a lot of places that let people be who they are. But there are lots of people in the world who fight to make places better, to break things down, to be that person who can say responsibly, hey, you don't have to be afraid. And if you're okay with it, Tony, I've been thinking a little bit about what you might be really good at. And, you know, guards keep bringing you back to the indoor and you keep getting into fights with all of these kids. And while I'm not condoning the way you've been doing that, I think it might be time for you to learn how to fight responsibly. So I got something.
But I could still fight?
Yes, but you would have to learn first why you're fighting and make sure your reasons are always good. Does that sound like a deal? Is that something you could do?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I always think my reasons are good, but
Well,
you're right.
trust me.
I can be better.
I've lived on this earth for a long time, and the first thing you need to learn before harming anyone is how to not do harm unless it's really necessary. That is the only kind of violence that is ever acceptable. Does that make sense?
Big up and down nods.
Those kids, they aren't worth your time. That's just fear talking. And you, Tony, will learn to be fearless. When you are, I'm going to give you this. And he reaches, behind him, and you see a bunch of saddlebags and stuff are strung across his, the back of the chair. And he lands this gigantic sword that you, at your age, it's probably the entirety as tall as you are. It's sheathed now, and you've never seen your father unsheath this sword. But you've seen the sheath before, and you've always wondered about it. But he puts it down on the table reverently. When you're ready, And when you really know what you're fighting for, Tony, I'm going to give you this sword. But you have to promise me no more fighting with kids in the street. Okay? You're going to learn to be a fighter with principles. Yeah?
Oh yeah, she is perking up right now. It's like, oh my god, it's so big. It's so much bigger than I thought it was. It was always hanging, but right here it's so big.
It looks so
Her feet hanging
impressive.
high off of the ground in that chair, swinging rapidly back and forth.
Yeah. And your father just like reading that excitement.
I promise. I promise.
He does something he's never done before. He takes the sword and he reaches the handle and unsheathes the blade. And that sound, I think that sound of, steel moving across leather is something that has never really left you every time you hear it. That like little spike of excitement comes as that from your memory, and you see Clyde for the first time, like shining, brilliant, polished, sharpened perfectly as it hovers before you. Only for the right reasons, Tony. You just have to remember that.
She stands up on the chair and does like a salute back to him as like, only for the right reasons.
And he, laughs and like puts away the sword, and tousles your hair, picks you up, and carries you under one arm in that way you hate, but you secretly love. And he's like, all right, as soon as we get out of here, as long as nobody else starts any fights, we'll get back to camp. And first thing, you'll start learning how to use weapons, how to defend yourself, how to defend others, okay?
She squeals. Eee! Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And she wants to like push off of him, like, I hate you, but I'm so excited and thanks.
Yeah.
And goes,
does.
Gio, where are you? He starts running after her brother.
Yeah, and you just hear, feet of your brother and the other children, moving around upstairs, and just the sounds of everybody packing to head back out into the plains after another successful trade. And that memory in the middle of everything, it fades away. It just feels so strange being where you are. So strange. And that's where we're actually ending the episode. Yay! Thank you all so much.
Tiny Tony.
Tiny Tony.
I love Tiny Tony.
Oh my god. With your
Love
parents
hanging
just
out
like,
with my dad.
what are we going to do with this girl? What are we going to do?
Oh, good idea. Give her a sword. Give this troublemaker a sword.
It's like in karate, you have to learn how to the principle, why you fight before.
You respect the fight.
Respect why you fight.
Yeah.
So you don't
it's
just
perfect.
fight.
It was the perfect thing for her.
Okay.
Yeah. Just objectively hilarious.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us for this episode of Venture Maidens. We're so glad you're here. And we are going to be back in 2 weeks now, our regular schedule. So that is all good, all fun. Anything else? Any notes we really needed to bring up? Or I think that's...
Thank yous.
Yes. Yeah, we got to do our thank yous. So thank you everybody again for joining us. If you enjoyed the show, please do make sure to follow, like, subscribe, leave a rating on your podcatcher of choice if you're listening to this in audio form. It really, really does help to grow the show. It's amazing. Please, tell everyone who you think might be interested. We don't pay for advertising or anything, so it's your word of mouth and your, faith in the show that helps us grow and expand and do awesome things. And of course, if you really, really like us, you can always check out our Patreon. So Patreon is a really cool website where you can donate, monthly or annually to the creators you love. And basically, we get those funds and we put them right back into the show, and you get cool rewards. So you can pledge at different levels, get all kinds of fun rewards, coloring book pages, magic items, secret notes, hundreds and hundreds of hours of bonus content, including our Rime of the Frost Maiden playthrough, our Descent into Avernus playthrough. Seriously, folks, super steal. And we like to take some time to shout out all those amazing people who just come through for us at the highest tiers on our Patreon level. So let's go around, everybody, and say thank you. Thank you so much. I'll start things off to our Arnadel's cohorts tier, so our $50 a month tier. Thank you so much to Cody Becker at Cody Rolls 4 on Twitter.
Thank you to Debbie.
Thank you, Curry.
Thank you, Muffin, at the one on Drury Lane on Twitter.
Thank you so much, Nissa McKinnon.
Thank you, Richie113 from our Discord server. Joined today.
And our Farah's drinking mate tier. Thank you, Chris.
And thank you to Markali, one of our fantastic mods in our Discord server.
Yay. Thank you so much, Kevin.
Thank you, Faybell.
And thank you, Tony.
Oh my God, that's so appropriate. Thank you, Tony, from Tony's mouth. Oh yes. Nassim,
From one
you had
Tony to
something.
another.
You had something you wanted to shout out. Yeah, your show deets.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So I have been working on a play. I've been cast in Hotter Than Egypt, which world premiered up in Seattle's Act
So
Theater.
good, you guys.
We ran
I
from
got to see it.
February 3rd to the 20th. And yes, Celeste was lucky enough to see it. I was lucky enough to see her while I was there. It was wonderful and great. But the show closed up there, but they did film one of the live productions. So there's a live audience there. And it was just one of our regular performances, but filmed very well with these beautiful, film cameras from 3 different angles of the stage. And we've got great quality sound. We were all mic'd up. So you can actually watch the production of Hotter Than Egypt. It's a brand new play at the Act Theater website. It's available now. Tickets are from like a donation level, $10 minimum, and then pay what you can if you want to do more. You'll have access to the stream for, I believe, 2 days after purchasing, or you can pick a select date to watch it. And it's just one purchase. Everyone in your household can watch it. And it's a wonderful play full of humor and love and heart and heartbreak. So
yeah,
I highly suggest you go at least check it out, see if you're interested. It's going to be only available for, I think, until March 6th. It's available now through March 6th for you to watch it. So
go now.
You got to go.
Super beautiful play. I laughed and cried in equal measure, which I think is very an awesome thing to see in a play. So hell yeah. Yes. Okay. Well, that's it. So hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us. I've been your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
Hello, I'm Katie, and I played Luverius Sath, your rancid rogue.
And I, Nassim,
Nice.
very good. I, Nassim, have played your half-orc fighter, Fitonia Silvertail.
First sing song at the end. I liked it. They just
I was
couldn't
going to say
commit to it
Tiny
at the end.
Tony, and then I was like, well.
Oh well.
And I am Sage. And I have been your bard, Aoife Flannery.
Yes. Well, thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time. But until then, everybody, venture away! Venture away, everybody!
We all had our
Bye.
own
Bye-bye.
time frame for that
Really
We
jumped the
did
gun
it.
on
No,
that one.
we did it. All right, bye.